For years, the American people have suffered under the lawless, dangerous, wage-reducing immigration policies of this administration. They sent us to Washington. They sent us here, the people did, to protect their interest, to protect the people's interest, to ensure the defense of their families, and to advance the common good, the public interest. They did not send us here to bow down to the president's lawless immigration policies, nor to line the pockets of special interest in big business. That's not what we are here for. Who do we represent? This omnibus bill approves the president's request for increased refugee admissions, allowing him to bring in as many refugees as he wants, and he can bring them from anywhere he wants, and allow them access to unlimited welfare and entitlements at the taxpayer expense, which is not scored as a cost. Under this bill, it will ensure that at least 170,000 green cards, that means permanent residency with a guaranteed path to citizenship, refugee and asylee approvals will be issued to migrants from Muslim countries just over the next 12 months. It contains dramatic changes to federal immigration law that would increase by as much as fourfold the number of low-wage foreign workers provided to employers under the controversial H-2B visa program. You go into hotels and you go into restaurants. Are not Americans doing those jobs? H-2B workers are supposed to be here to fill seasonal jobs that Americans allegedly won't do. That's what they say, those who want more, cheaper labor. At a time of record immigration, we do not appreciate the scope of it. We're on track. We already have the highest number of foreign-born in American history, but I just want to say we're at record levels, both in total numbers and in a few years, the highest percentage of foreign-born in America will be reached, and it will continue thereafter. So is it any wonder that 83% of the electorate want immigration either frozen or reduced? And the Republican-led Congress is about to deliver the president a fourfold increase in one of the most controversial foreign worker programs that we have. So I, along with my colleagues, Senator Shelby and others in the House, asked for the inclusion of specific language in this omnibus bill that would protect the interests of the American people, but none of that was included in the omnibus bill. I doubt they ever spent a minute looking at the letter from two United States senators. Over the course of the last year, as chairman of the Subcommittee on Immigration and the National Interest, I sent appropriators a list of several dozen provisions for inclusion in our funding bills to improve immigration enforcement, block presidential overreach and lawlessness, including, among other things, provisions to defund the sanctuary cities. Why should we be providing federal law enforcement monies to cities that won't even cooperate with the federal government in its most basic responsibilities of respect and comity between these various federal and state agencies? We put in language that would prevent illegal aliens from receiving tax credits. It's unbelievable. The Inspector General for the U.S. Treasury Department, President Obama's own Treasury Department, did an analysis of this and urged that it be fixed. People come here to America illegally. They got children somewhere around the world. They don't have a Social Security number. They use an I-10 identification document for executives who's supposed to travel in, but that's what it was intended for. And they use that, and they file some sort of tax return, and they don't pay taxes because their income is low, but they get a tax credit based on children that are not even in the country. I mean, how abusive is that? We asked for legislation to protect American workers against abuses in the H-1B program. This is where California Edison, had a program. They brought in 500 foreign workers from India and some sort of contract deal, had the local 500 workers that have been at Con Edison doing computer work for years, had them train the new workers, and then terminated them. Terminated the Americans and replaced them with those from abroad. How can anyone say there was a shortage of workers? The same was done by Disney. Senator Nelson of Florida, and I've offered legislation to fix that. I've offered legislation with Senator Cruz and support legislation from Senator Grassley that would fix that. None of that's been included in this bill. So all these were rejected by the bill supporters. But industry's request for more foreign workers, that was granted. Unconditionally approved. And so I asked about this provision. I'd heard this might be under consideration. And so I asked about it. I said, American people don't want a fourfold increase in immigration. I know there's some special interest pushing for this. I've heard that. Tell me it's not so. And I was told it wasn't so. But last night, this morning at 2 a.m., I guess, when the bill was produced, it's in there. So I'm not happy about it, colleagues. I don't see how we can operate around here if we can't rely on representations. Because of this bill, sanctuary cities will continue to get federal funds. The Obama administration can continue issuing visas to countries that refuse to repatriate, take back violent criminal aliens, and the president's executive amnesty continues. Meanwhile, the tax bill that will be moving with this omnibus bill makes permanent the additional child tax credit and the earned income tax credit, and it does nothing to block their future distribution of monies to illegal aliens. A tax credit to a person who doesn't pay taxes is a check from the government. It's not a tax deduction, it's a direct payment. It scores as a welfare benefit by the budget office. So this means more illegal aliens will continue to get the tax credits. And it should be stopped. It should long since have been stopped. This bill explains why Republican and Democratic voters are in open rebellion, as former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich said recently. Open rebellion. They elect people that they believe are going to take action to protect their security, their jobs, their wages, and what do they get? Bill that is worse than current law, goes in the opposite direction. No wonder people are upset. This legislation represents a further disenfranchisement of the American voter. What does a vote mean in this country? At a time when hundreds of thousands of criminal aliens who by law should be deported are on our streets, we've had hearings on this. Criminal aliens are killing innocent Americans. Numerous foreign-born individuals are implicated in terrorism. Tens of thousands of aliens from Central America continue to stream across our southern border. Countless Americans are being replaced by foreign workers and forced to train their replacements. And millions of other Americans just struggling to get by. So this Congress has chosen to make things worse.